Hi, my name is Audrey Williams of Audrey Williams Flowers to Interiors, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to the Country Living series. Come take a walk with me. One of the great advantages of living in the countryside is you have country walks right on your doorstep. So today I'm walking down a country lane with you, and I'll just tell you a few things that I've kind of learned from living in the countryside and doing the walks. I thought it was just like walking in the city, but it's not at all. Let me show you. So this is a country lane, and we're going to go up to a public footpath, but for now we're walking down the country lane, and as you notice there is no sidewalks. So you need to have good shoes and mindful of any dips, and just be careful when you're walking what you're walking into. Sometimes it can be muddy, and also you should always face the traffic. This is a single lane, so it's difficult to face the traffic because it's not two ways, but most of the time people come down here, not come up here. But it's a quiet country lane, so shouldn't really have too much botheration today. But you always need to be mindful that there's no sidewalk, so you kind of have to walk here. So I've just perched you up on a branch. There is a country code, and if I can find the website I'll link it below, but there's like a code of conduct for walking in the countryside, and of the few of the things that I've come across I'll sort of tell you about it, but I will link it below so you can have a little peruse. But yeah, there's a code for walking in the countryside. So what you'll come across a lot is these signs, and there's different versions of them, but it's a public footpath. So basically it tells you, other than walking down the country lanes, if I'm allowed to cut across a field, but I have to follow this path. So this one has like a little bridge, and we'll just walk across. And this is a stile. It's not a very good version of it because this one is kind of falling down. So basically a stile is a step that you use to climb over the fence, but this one's kind of a bit sunken. If I can find a better version of it I'll show you. But yeah, we're just going to walk down this public footpath. Now when you're walking down public footpaths you do have to kind of look out for the little signs, and then there's kind of little paths as well, and there's an awful lot of bramble quite often, so you kind of have to be careful. But because I know this particular one, I kind of know where to walk because we've come here several times, and this one is a really tiny footpath, but sometimes they can be quite wide, and this is allowing me to cross a field, but the field has got a lot of growth on it, so it's not obvious that it's a field. But yeah, we will come out to an opening at some point, but it's grown a lot over the winter. Oh my goodness. So this stile looks like it's intact. It's another public footpath. So yeah, this one looks like it's in good order, so I'm quite happy to climb over that one. Also, a couple of attire tips that I've got for you. If you're walking in the countryside, good to take some sort of waterproof, especially if you're going to be out for a little while. We live in the UK and rain is almost inevitable. If you're walking in the winter time, always have like a thermal layer underneath, because you really do feel the wind and the breeze in the rural areas, so it always feels a little bit more chilly. So yeah, definitely a thermal layer is very handy. Good shoes. It's not great sandals for ladies, or even trainers can be a bit tricky, because if it's muddy or if it's wet, or you know, it's and slippery with leaves, you're better off with walking shoes. And also they support the ankles, so the ground is very uneven. So yeah, good pair of walking shoes. And If you so choose, you can walk with some sort of walking stick. Some people have those, and that's quite good if you're going up places that are quite high. And always leave in a good enough time, because there's no lights out here, so you don't want to get caught in darkness. And you really do have to look where you're going, because sometimes there could be a burrow and you put your foot in. So yeah, you just have have your wits about you when you're walking in the countryside. But don't forget to enjoy the lovely views. So the benefits of walking in the countryside: exercise, fresh air, just being in nature, just seeing how God has created such a beautiful place, even though sin has corroded it badly. But God has been gracious enough to us to still allow us to see so much beauty. And even in the winter time, you can still just see how wonderful it is to be in the countryside. So this is the next day, and I've decided to bring you to a nature reserve. They're all over the country, and there's a website that you can look at, and I'll leave that link below, and that tells you all about the different nature reserves, where they are, if they have car parking, what sort of things you can expect to see when you get there, how big they are. So it's a really useful tool, and yes, so come walk with me. So this is a kissing gate, and you kind of pull it through. It's a bit awkward to show you on camera, but we'll try. And then pull it back. So you kind of have to fit in that space here when you push in the gate. This nature reserve has cows, so you have to be mindful when you're walking past them, but you can actually access a field where they are. And here we have another kissing gate. So you go in, pull it back so you can get through. And here's a sign telling you that there's cattle grazing, so keep your dogs under control. So this is the end of my walk with you. I'm going to carry on for a little bit more and just enjoy the nature. It's a great stress reliever. It's wonderful for your mental health. It's just great for walking dogs, and it's just a really good idea to come out in nature and just enjoy the countryside. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell when I've got the new video coming up next week, and I'll see you in the next video.